Hello again, and welcome to High Ground Financial Freedom Podcast. And today I have Zach McKissick. And so I had an opportunity to serve with Zach McKissick in Hawaii. And don't get it twisted thinking that Hawaii was this amazing, beautiful place. It is. But when it comes to the military, Hawaii has one thing that the military loves: great weather. Great weather means a lot of training. And Zach, like I said, I served with him, and he was a special forces soldier. And today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about his book. He has an amazing book that I want him to share about journaling. So, Zach, for all the listeners and the viewers who don't know you, share.
Well, my name is Zackery McKissick. I grew up in a small town. I joined the Army when I was 18 years old. First combat deployment, 18-year-old kid in our wonderful unit 211, Gatorland. Came back. I think that's when you were coming into the unit, Dwalin, at that time as our first sergeant, a new first sergeant. Served there for a couple more years, learned how to be a leader in that unit. A lot of great mentors there. And then I decided I wanted to be special forces. So I went to selection, made selection, left the unit, and I served the rest of my time in the military in 10th Group on an ODA, ODA 221. So pretty much in a nutshell, that was my career.
Okay, good deal. So, what led you to want to do a book? I mean, I know you was in special forces, and the book is called The Hero's Journey Journal. And I will leave a link for if you want to get the book. I will highly recommend getting it. But what led you to want to write a book?
I've always kind of been, a lot of people don't know this, kind of a bit of a nerd. I always like to read, do art. I always had a sketchbook wherever I went. A lot of people don't know that about me, but and I think this project in particular, it was sort of a letter to myself, but also some of the experiences that I had in my life. I thought that it could help people. And also writing in general, journaling, it helps me think. I think that me personally, I think better when I write. It helps me plan better. So yeah, that was kind of the passion behind the project. I wanted to share some of my experiences, but also for people to find their own journey, in life, whether it's difficult times or they're just trying to improve themselves. I think journaling is a great tool to do that. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even in the app that you're watching this podcast on right now, there's a place that you can journal, but that's with an app. There's something to be said about going from a pen and that tactile to that paper that changes things, And I mean, you're talking about delayed gratification, you're talking about empathy, you're talking about
Mhm.
bringing that brain right into that fingertips. It changes the way you view things and it calms you down. I mean, you can do the same thing with an app, but a book is so much better. Is it a long read, the book?
It's not. It's not. There's just a simple intro, and there's instructions on how to use the journal. So there's a short story embedded into it. It's basically the hero and the dragon classic. It's pretty much universally recognized, that sort of that motif. You're the hero of your own life, as we all are, and you're going to have some dragons you're going to have to face, whether that's a challenge or just personal issues. That's the dragon. For me, I always thought that my dragon was sort of negative thoughts that I had when I was trying to accomplish something. Going through special forces training, you're competing with people who are coming from Ranger Battalion. I was an artillery guy, so I didn't have like some of the skill set, but that dragon in the back of my mind it would tell me, well, hey, you're not good enough. You're not good enough, Zach. So I think for me, that was my dragon. Getting out of the military, sort of losing my identity a little bit. I think all veterans go through that. And yeah, you got to be, the hero and take up the sword against those kind of thoughts. And, I think journaling is a great way to do that. The way it's structured, you could probably do 15 minutes a day journaling. Yeah, I guarantee you have 15 minutes a day. If you have an hour a day to go work out, you have 15 minutes a day. If you have, 2 hours to watch a movie on Netflix, you got 15 minutes a day just to do it. And what I find is, like, whenever I'm doing something consistently over and over, it's sort of like I crave it. So the challenge is to try it for 90 days, see how you feel. And then at the end of each day, there's kind of like a little AAR. It asks you to write 3 things that you can improve on and 3 things that you did well today. So it's just that more encouragement to keep up with it.
Okay, so for the listeners that don't know what an AAR is, what is an AAR?
It's an after action review. Every military training exercise, every mission. We always talk about what went right, what went wrong, and how we can improve. Very useful tool, I think. It can be humbling at times, but I think that if you're honest with yourself, you can improve whatever you're doing if you're really honest about those 3 things. So, yeah.
So then let's talk about that special forces training. Like, and you talk about the dragon, slaying the dragon. What was one of your biggest challenges that you had to face as a special forces individual?
Oh man, there's I think most of it's mental, most of it's psychological. Because I really, I worship those guys, those Green Berets. I just thought that, man, those are the, cream of the crop, like soldier wise. I think I put them pretty far up there on a pedestal, kind of. But over time, I started to realize these things are doable if you're consistent with yourself, if you're consistent with your workouts, if you're making an effort to be a team player and learn as much as you can. These things are possible. And so I think that was one challenge. Another challenge I think I struggled with a lot was learning a language. Every special forces soldier has to learn a language. Mine happened to be Arabic. Don't ask me why. I did recycle in the course from that. It was pretty difficult for me. I've never spoken a language in my life. But yeah, I would say most of it was mental. And if you could just get through the day or get through the training event, you'll be fine. Don't think too far ahead in the future. Or dwell on the things that you've messed up, during the day. I think the real Dragon's Gold, it's kind of another, what would you call it? It's kind of like a common theme that's universally recognized. I think the real Dragon's Gold for those things are what you gain. You slay the dragon, you get the gold. Well, what is the gold? I think it's knowledge. I think it's recognizing yourself, what your limits are, how far you can go, and also the dark parts of you, things you need to work on. So
I'd agree. And like you said in your book, the journey itself. I think the journey itself is the goal. I think that part is, going through all of that, just life itself, and then being able to look back and then writing it down. And like you said, doing an AAR, looking at the end of the day, just looking, hey, what could I improve upon? And then you can read back over these things and just look and see where your life is progressing and things that you can, tighten up on. Now, are there any pictures in there?
Yeah, all the artwork is mine. It's basically, the hero's journey motif. I think the first 30 days, there's a sun on the page, and there's kind of like a little short story in there about the sun shining upon you because you've chosen to take this journey. You're taking the first step.
So that's what like the inspiration. Where did all that come from?
I don't know. I guess parts of my life where, I didn't realize it, but taking that first step for me, it was a blessing, so that's kind of how I thought about it. A lot of the artwork that I made in there, I really worked on. For example, like the cover art there, the hero's helmet. I wanted it to be something that, again, is universally recognized. I didn't want it to be like a male or female like type of thing or age. It's like basically an empty helmet. You could pick it up and put it on. Anybody can. I have a kind of like a half moon piece of art in there, and it's basically when things start to get a little bit tougher because you're 30 days into your journey. I describe it as like the hostile moon. Like nighttime is, it's dangerous for all of our ancestors. It's like a very old, it's like a very old idea that, but you still have to step out into the darkness and into the unknown. And then the final piece of art is really the dragon itself. It's on every page of the book. There's art on every page. Each piece of art is kind of for each 30-day period within that 90-day period.
Okay, and so how long have you been journaling?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been journaling?
I started this project just journaling. I mean, probably maybe five years ago, like right about when I was kind of getting established out here in California. I've been out for a little while. I think I got triggered by something that, I wasn't going through the best times, let's say. So I did go to therapy at the VA to try and figure that stuff out.
I mean, that's a good thing, and I applaud you for that. And
yeah.
Thanks for sharing that and being transparent and vulnerable. So
yeah. It's guys don't like to admit it, but if you're a real man, you'll go. That's all I can say about that, So I realized like a lot of it was writing down your thoughts. It was kind of analyzing those negative things and really working through those things that can be holding you back. And so I started journaling then. And then I was like, well, I kind of want to make my own journal, but not just for me, but for anyone who's struggling or just wants to improve. So yeah, I would say journaling, and that was before I really went to the VA, but after I went, they kind of had me doing the same thing. Just journaling every day, analyzing my thoughts, what's useful and what's not useful in that regard. So, yeah, I mean, I always wanted to write. I just didn't know what. I think part of the inspiration too was I always carried like a sketchbook with me wherever I went. I think one day I just started drawing. And I'm like, I can write a book. I think I can do this. So, I just kind of I went with it. My passion project. So.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think anything is achievable if we lean into it. If we have passion behind it, put emotion behind it, and then lean into it. So yeah, I applaud you for that. And again, thank you for your transparency and being vulnerable. You're right. I seek help. I still see help. I mean, it's okay to talk to someone. And that's all it is. People hear therapy and they think that someone's scrambling your brain. I'm still in control of who I am as a man,
right,
as a child of God, and as a father, as a husband. And so
right,
having an outlet and having an opportunity to speak to someone is very powerful. It's very powerful. Like
absolutely.
you said, a real person's going to go, whether man, woman, speak to somebody if there's any issues. So now I do have a question about special forces.
Sure.
Is it true, like in the training when you guys do it, and let's say road marches, because in the military, we do road marches, whether it's a 12, 25-mile foot march, road march, whatever you want to call it. Are there road marches that they don't tell you the distance on and that you just need to start walking?
Absolutely, especially in that first phase. Well, it's not so much the qualification course, but in selection, you're not supposed to know what's going on. They want to tell you. They want you to see how you're going to deal with that. But yeah, there are road marches you don't really know the distance to. They're just like follow the cones. They're very cool about it, very, laid back. You don't really get yelled at or too much. They just kind of, here's the standard, go. But sometimes you don't know what the standard is. If you don't know the distance behind a road march, for example, you know the standard, like, what is it? Is it 12 miles under 3 hours? That's
Yeah.
like the infantry standard, I think. So, but if you're going 24, maybe 30, you don't really know what the standard is. I always tried to stick to myself like that infantry standard, just keep that pace the whole time. But I don't know if that's what it is, to be honest. I have no idea.
No,
But yeah,
thanks for
there's a
sharing.
lot of things like that.
No, that's
Yeah.
good. So I mean, basically, you have to push yourself because you don't know what the
Yeah.
standard is. So
And
you have to maintain a certain level of excellence, or you
yeah,
may fall behind.
sure. And I like what you said earlier. This kind of ties back. We were talking about it's about the journey, you know. Um, I think, you know, when somebody asks me what's your greatest accomplishment or something like that, I always think that it's not good to live in that. Um, I'm proud of what I've done in my life. However, I think to live there, you kind of become like a high school quarterback type where you can't leave that and kind of grow from that. Um, so so yeah, I mean, it's perpetual. It never stops. Hanging up the military. Now I'm doing a different thing, and that's okay. I don't have to. I don't have to live the veteran. Poor me, or um, I was this or I was that. Like I don't know, just not for me. And also, I will say I was hesitant about writing my experience a bit in the beginning there. Um, and the SF community is kind of looked down upon to tell people like what you do, or how badass you are. You know, I don't feel like that I did that in the book. It was solely meant to sort of draw people in and be like, hey, look, um, you'd be amazed at what you can do. You know,
No,
so
I agree, and you're right. You don't want to stay anywhere. You want to move. Like stagnant water starts to smell after a while, like old cheese.
yeah,
You
yeah,
want to
yeah.
continue on any journey and keep moving forward. Just like with financial literacy, you're never going
Mhm.
to be perfect. You're never going to get to a point where you just stop. Whether you're keeping a budget, keeping tabs on what you're doing and where you're spending, your spending habits, you always want to move forward and get better. So no, I appreciate that. What about what are you doing now? Since you've been out, if you wouldn't mind
So
sharing.
I still have a day job. You know, it just is what it is. But it's like you said, financially, you got to keep yourself, you know, at least treading water. On top of like the projects that I work on. I did actually come out with a part two not too long ago. It is on Amazon as well. But yeah, so I think my goals is to write for the year. So I want to do 4 books in total for the journaling series. Um, each 90-day period, which basically adds up to 360 days or journaling for the whole year, each with a different theme. So I'm working on that right now. My day job is I work for a major staffing industry. It's kind of like an HR position.
Okay.
Manage a bunch of personnel. So it's okay, but yeah, that's pretty much what I do now.
No, that's good. I mean, you're the person for it. I mean, you definitely have the mentality. And when you're talking about a whole year, that's a long time. Okay.
Yeah,
But let's say for someone that's listening right now, that's going through struggles. I mean, you think about the disparity in our country right now, or just being
sure.
a father, being a wife, husband, whatever, uncle, aunt, just newborn baby, new parent, someone struggling right now, what actionable thing can you give them, an actionable item that you can tell them, hey, do this just to start out? Because when you say a year, that's a long time, but what can they
Yeah,
do
I
to
mean, well,
start?
the books are broken up into 90-day periods, and I would just say take the first step. Like we were talking about ruck marching earlier, and you know, you realize how far you have to go, but it starts with that first step, you know, and sometimes that's the hardest one because, you know, maybe you don't want to do it, but I think actionable, you can journal. I think physical fitness is a medicine for mental health, in my opinion.
It is.
I mean, you know, I don't know if there's other veterans that experience this out there, but you kind of know something's wrong and you want to maybe talk to somebody. First thing I got offered was a bag of pills. And I'm just like, no, this isn't what I need, you know? And so I think if you have the access to any kind of talk therapy, I think that's another actionable thing that you can do. If not, you know, friends, family members, just reach out. But I think physical fitness is a big piece. It is, I think it is medicine, truly for that. I noticed that I think clear when I'm consistent with that as well. So, and you'll find too that, you know, journaling, you have 15 minutes a day. I guarantee it. You have 15 minutes a day to do it. And if you do one thing that you're disciplined about consistently, you'll find that other things will fall into place. At least they do for me. So I don't know if you have that experience, Wallen, but for sure, you know, that consistency, other things will fall into place and you'll start being consistent with other things as well in your life.
No, 100%. It's like if I drove from Texas to California at night, I could only see a couple feet in front of me.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
and just as long as I'm moving forward, I can't see
Right.
California yet, but if I'm going at night, I'll see in front of me, you know, a couple 20, 30 feet. If I turn my high beams on, maybe I get up to 50, 60, 70. But as long as I'm moving forward and being consistent, change is inevitable. It's inevitable as long as you're staying consistent. So no, I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate those actionable items that people can do, you know, gym, working out. And then working out does not necessarily have to be in the gym. I have my own home gym, but I walk a lot. Walking is working out. Diet, that's a part of working out. Reading,
Absolutely.
that's a part of working out. Working out is not just that pushing weights. Working out is a lot of things when you're talking about the human body. There's a lot of systems inside this amazing thing that we call the human body. And when you start, again, being consistent, which is something as seems simple, but, you know, as simple as journaling, then everything else will start to fall into place. Again, I have a spot on my app for journaling, but I definitely appreciate someone who took the time to write a book. And, you know, again, that tactile, the visual, the audio, you know, hearing that pencil or that pen going across that paper and just putting it down. Now, do you reread things that you've written?
Of course. Yeah. All the time. All the time. You know, I could remember, you know, there was times where that's the thing about journaling too. That's kind of cool. So let's say something happens, you're in a terrible mood. You could be as angry as you want. No one's gonna feel the wrath. You can let go of it on the paper. And then you might flip back a couple of days later and, well, that's kind of a silly thought. Or I don't know. I know now why I thought this, but I'm doing better in this space. So I think it's an outlet, you know, in that way too. But yes, I definitely go back, and it's fun to go back when it's been a long time, just to see how far you've come. Um, like you said, you're always moving forward, and you know, opportunities you think that you may not have right now. You know, as long as you're consistent with things, you'd be surprised of what opens up for you. So yeah, all the time.
No, I appreciate that. What about social media? How much social media do you do?
I'm on a diet. I use sparingly.
Okay, on a diet. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, diet from social media. So my Instagram page, I just post artwork and things about the book. There's not much on there. Now, as far as like usage or, you know, because like I said, I don't like the doom scroll stuff. I think it's terrible for people. But yeah, I do have an Instagram handle. It's Zackery.McKissick at Instagram.
And I'll
It's
make
just
sure
my
I put
name.
this out there so as well, so
Okay.
people
Yeah, and
can find you.
the links to Amazon are also on there as well. So if you guys want to check it out, that'd be awesome.
So, final thoughts. Do you really believe that spending time writing something down, 15 minutes a day, even though we think that's a little, small amount of time, do you really believe that it could be life changing? Honestly.
Absolutely. 100%. Like I was telling you, it really helps me think whenever I write. It helps me plan. Name a plan that you've ever made as a command sergeant major that you didn't have to write things down on a whiteboard or task org or, but this is for your life. So yeah, and it's focused on your life as the hero of your own story. So absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love how you just put that. Hero of your life. This is your life, not a task board. This is for your life. So there you have it. This is Zackery McKissick. He's written 2 books. He's gonna do 2 more, and I'm gonna get them all. So, and because I love the journal. So thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your service, brother. And thank you for everything that you do in bringing peace and mind to others to grow and get better. So let's keep continuing to get that financial freedom. God bless, and I hope you all have a great day.